What's that last line? Oh, he's gay. Oh, yeah, see, straight guys don't say that. There's nothing wrong with being gay in any way, but he definitely is.
Why is he so angry?
After his friend Hugh Jackman revealed their alleged bromance, Ryan Reynolds is in a complete meltdown.
An impassioned kiss?
It appears that Blake had a valid cause for approaching Baldoni. At last, someone she would consider a true man.
He's also very charismatic. Like a gay guy.
Is Blake Lively a beard? Like, is she there just to produce kids and to give him that family image?
Indeed, Ryan may be taken aback by his friend's treachery, but really, what else would you expect from someone who is fired from his ideal Marvel project?
And like trying to normalize all of these gay jokes, but nobody's actually asking him to do that.
Furthermore, you must acknowledge that a lawsuit is typically a private matter between a small number of people, but this one has turned into a major Hollywood disaster.
Was in fact a part of the bullying that happened to Justin Baldoni.
And in some manner, the consequences are extending well beyond the well-known performers. Co-stars, staff members, and even the unfortunate set cleaners have been drawn into this nightmare.
Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, will be deposed, and I suspect that might be making Ryan Reynolds extremely nervous, and I'll tell you why.
Hugh Jackman is the real deal here, though. Yes, the adored Wolverine has somehow found himself at the center of everything due to his relationship with Ryan Reynolds, and let's just say that this relationship is more complicated than you may imagine.
He was, in fact, a part of the bullying that happened to Justin Baldoni.
This lawsuit is the reason why this poor guy's MCU career is currently in jeopardy. And for that reason, he revealed some startling yet unsettling facts regarding his relationship with Ryan Reynolds, facts that are undoubtedly giving Reynolds the chills at the moment.
Of interest of his best friend's wife, and the guy trying to replace Ryan as a husband, and me as his best mate. Holy sh**. What the hell are you doing messing with my best buddy's wife?
Jackman was supposed to be preparing for the next X-Men or Deadpool film, but there are rumors that he might not be involved anymore. Can you even imagine the fallout if Marvel actually lets him go? And to be honest, he would never have betrayed him, but this time it was all about saving his career.
He is being awarded for his contributions with a deposition, all right?
Jackman has been attempting to keep out of it, but we all know how that works. This complicated web, including Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and Justin Baldoni, may well be the final straw for his career.
Baldoni's legal team wants to get the full scope of Reynolds' conduct during the time that It Ends With Us was being filmed.
You have to speak up eventually, because you can't keep quiet for very long. His words were nothing short of a bombshell.
Ryan Reynolds' bromances, his various bromances over the years. We've talked about him and Jake Gyllenhaal, and obviously this has been a bromance that has been very much thrown in the public's face.
Now, don't misunderstand. Hugh Jackman wasn't exactly innocent in this situation. If anything, he may have gotten into this issue in the first place because of his relationship with Reynolds.
Ryan's kind of perpetually highly publicizing his bromances is something that I find to be quite strange, right? Mostly because he's a 48-year-old man, Ryan Reynolds. He has 4 kids, and he seems to dedicate a lot of time and resources.
Their bromance became more than simply jokes and good-natured banter. It grew strange. Incredibly strange.
And why does he gush about his love for Hugh Jackman more than he does his own wife?
The marriage comparisons and the jokes about their intimacy have all been warning signs that nobody really noticed until now.
Financial resources to trying to convince the public that these bromances are perfectly normal. And we're not really asking for that convincing. Like, I don't need people to convince me that guys can hang out with one another, but he feels like he has to make that effort. So he's like, nothing's weird here, nothing's weird. Bromances are so normal.
In addition, there are allegations regarding Jackman's sexual orientation, divorce, and public relations tactics. It's understandable why his role in this litigation has generated so much discussion. However, what's most intriguing is Reynolds' approach to all of this.
There's no female equivalent to the term bromance. The female equivalent is friends. And so the fact that we need a term to describe 2 men going out to dinner I think is very revealing about what men are allowed or are not allowed to do.
Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds' bromance has long provided their fans with entertainment. Admirers. With their teasing exchanges, social media insults, and innumerable public occasions, it has been simple to assume that their connection is simply like any other celebrity friendship.
And how much self-policing there is when it comes to their relationships with other men. So bromance is almost this permission for men to connect and to show love to each other.
However, it becomes increasingly evident that this bromance may be more than simply a jest when you dig deeper. To be honest, things are beginning to seem a little odd.
It's a weird thing for them to be trying to constantly tell us, and he's always playing this role of kind of making a lot of gay jokes and like trying to normalize all of these gay jokes, but nobody's actually asking him to do that, not the gay community.
Fundamentally, Reynolds and Jackman's relationship is more than just their ability to joke around and make fun of one another. Different. There is an indisputable love that transcends what most people would think of as a casual acquaintance.
No judgment from me, but Hugh Jackman has been plagued with rumors of homosexuality throughout his entire career. It has been speculated.
Although they have referred to one another as brothers in public, it's difficult to ignore how intimate their relationships are, particularly when Reynolds says things that are not typical of male bonding.
There's nothing wrong with being gay in any way, but he definitely is. Oh, he is. This is from 2017.
The two have spent an absurd amount of time together over the years, whether it's for promotional purposes or events, sharing private moments on social media, or simply spending time together behind the scenes. Their relationship seems to go far more than just friends, at times when they almost seem inseparable.
Why is he so angry?
Reynolds has publicly likened his bond with Jackman to a marriage, which, to be honest, it's strange to say that when you're married to someone else. Blake Lively specifically. This contrast isn't merely an casual remark either. Reynolds has brought it up multiple times, especially when talking about the strength of his relationship with Jackman.
Funny. That's funny to steal Ryan Gosling's little moment there. I'm willing to commit to a bit. An impassioned kiss?
In interviews, he has used terms like genuinely to describe their relationship, which is similar to a spousal bond. I'm cheering you on, and we rely on one another to provide us insight into their relationship.
Is this what 47 and 55-year-old men, do you feel as though, even with friends you do business with, that your friendship is like a marriage?
If it's only a buddy, that's all well and well, but when you consider that he is married to Lively, those statements begin to seem a bit out of balance.
Gay men they have a light in their eyes that straight men don't have. We don't.
Remember that Reynolds has also made remarks in public regarding his wife, Blake Lively, that might be construed as less than affectionate. He frequently makes awkward jokes about her, saying things like how she manages their family life or his marriage-related sacrifices.
Look at his dead eyes. Straight. Gay. So that's all that's happening. He's a closeted gay man, and that's just, when you deny yourself that truth, you're just gonna do weird, crazy shit.
Even if these remarks might be made in fun, their frequency, particularly in comparison to he lavishes Jackman with adulation, which begs the issue. Reynolds isn't publicly disparaging his wife. However, it says volumes about him that he appears more close and emotionally open with Jackman than with Lively. The distinction between love for Jackman and the aloofness in his marriage to Lively seems to be blurring, are beginning to become hazy.
And everyone around you is gonna have a hard time because you're like trying to fit this square piece in a circle.
Their friendship seems to have been far more intense behind closed doors than we've been told. Reynolds and Jackman have each called each other life partners in private discussions. You don't just throw that remark around, especially if you're married to someone else.
What he's saying is what I was trying to introduce in a more polite way by taking you guys through these like lavender marriages that actually happen in Hollywood. I know they happen for a fact, and there's just something here, this underlying anger that doesn't make sense.
And although their on-screen chemistry has always delighted audiences, their closer relationship has always been a little more complex than first appears. Jackman, who was among the first to accept Reynolds into the... Additionally, the X-Men universe has revealed details about their relationship that point to a much more intimate bond, beyond professional friendship.
To the circumstance reads the messages and it's like, okay, I know what's going on here. And now, but instead we've got to go through this court case and it's got to be like $400 million and it's all crazy, all because Ryan is not happy with who he is on the inside.
In contrast to Reynolds' relationship, the intimacy between them is what's remarkable in this instance. Begins to appear a little strange with Lively. In interviews, Jackman has commended Reynolds for being an amazing listener, and the two have discussed life and their occupations while taking lengthy walks together.
I start to ask myself, is Blake Lively a beard? Like, is she there just to produce kids and to give them that family image? Because once you start to add it all up,
in the Hollywood industry, two straight males don't usually display this level of emotional transparency. Having a close connection is great, but the volume and quality of their personal interactions tend to indicate something beyond simple friendship.
And I don't think he's jealous. I think he's possessive because she's his property.
Now, let's talk about Blake Lively's involvement in all of this because, let's be honest, if anyone has been thrust into the spotlight more, it's her more than anyone else in this story. The notion that Blake Lively is just Ryan Reynolds' beard has becoming more popular, particularly as speculation about Reynolds' actual emotions and possible identity issues grows.
I knew that this was another fake Me Too. I knew she was Amber Heard 2.0. I said it from day one since I heard about this case. So do not take this as I think, oh, you know, she's some poor victim and men are bad and Ryan Reynolds is bad. No, we're talking about this particular case, this particular situation.
For those who are not familiar with the word, a person with a beard is someone who conceals their identity. In the context of Ryan and Blake's marriage, the notion that Blake is a beard is frequently used in reference to sexual orientation, has significantly increased in weight. According to this hypothesis, Lively's primary responsibility is to maintain the picture of a contented, conventional family, but Reynolds might be concealing something more sinister.
So you can start to put the picture in your mind. I don't think this man gives a damn about his wife, as Candace said.
Although their marriage has always been portrayed as one of love and respect for one another, the cracks are starting to show. To display, Blake, a well-known actress in her own right, has been portrayed by the public as the ideal wife. However, if you look more closely, there are hints that her contribution to this marriage may be more about appearances than anything else. Genuinely significant.
And why does he gush about his love for Hugh Jackman more than he does his own wife?
Blake's public image frequently resembles that of the ideal Hollywood wife. At occasions, making sweet family appearances with Reynolds and always wearing a smile. However, beneath that flawless exterior, there have been reports of her having an emotional affair with Justin Baldoni, and it appears to be the ideal. The facade is disintegrating.
This what 47 and 55-year-old men, do you feel as though, even with friends you do business with, that your friendship is like a marriage?
One of the primary causes has been hypothesized to be Lively's emotional bond with Baldoni. For her, Reynolds, and Baldoni's legal drama. And let's not forget that this affair, whatever it was, has now joined the larger legal dispute that is getting out of hand.
I think the secret sauce to a long-lasting Hollywood friendship is not too dissimilar to having a partner or a marriage.
Reynolds may be going to considerable measures, which is not surprising if these accusations are accurate, to conceal from the public what truly occurs behind closed doors. He has been charged of manipulating the media and controlling the story of Blake and Baldoni through his connections in Hollywood, even advocating for false statements to be made about Baldoni in public.
Reynolds told Jackman during their interview, "I am genuinely rooting for you all the time. I want you to win. It's the same way I feel about Blake. As I'm rooting for her, I know she's rooting for me, and that's why we're so connected."
However, the notion that Blake was never truly Reynolds may be the most startling element in all of this. True companion. Rather, She could have served as Reynolds' ideal public persona, a front to conceal his own emotions, especially regarding his relationship with Hugh Jackman. According to some, Lively's emotional liaison with Baldoni was just Reynolds' tipping point, revealing more serious rifts in their marriage that have existed for some time.
So he's comparing his relationship with his wife with his friend, with his buddy.
Perhaps Blake was never more than a carefully manicured image, a marriage that perfectly suited Hollywood's standards for movie stars. In the event that Reynolds battled his identity behind the scenes, this entire lawsuit is just a single, tiny piece of the puzzle, a piece that shows more than anyone could have imagined.
That's what men do? That's what y'all do? Okay.
Additionally, it's likely that you are unaware of Hugh Jackman's September 2023 divorce from Deborah Lee Ferris.
He recently divorced his wife of 27 years. Her name is Deborah Lee Furness. 27 years is a very long time to be married. They announced their separation.
This separation's timing was particularly significant because it happened as rumors about Jackman's sexuality. Although the divorce was a major personal event, it also contributed to a wider public relations plan, one that appeared to have been meticulously planned to change Jackman's reputation in the sector.
Announced their separation to the public in September of 2023.
Given that Hollywood still places a higher priority on how the public views its stars, it's hardly surprising that Jackman's team would strategically control his image, particularly during the period when there were spreading suspicions regarding his sexual orientation. Jackman, who had been wed to Deborah Lee Ferris for more than 20 years, had been the focus of whispered suspicions regarding his sexual orientation. Despite his constant denials of these claims, the public's interest in his personal life didn't change.
Just to plot that on a timeline for you, that was in the midst of the principal filming for Deadpool and Wolverine, which got abruptly paused in that September due to the SAG-AFTRA strike. The strike began in June, I believe, and in September, Hugh Jackman announces that he and his wife are separating.
His divorce, which was fairly subtly publicized, seemed to be a calculated move intended to change the story pertaining to his private life. Although many would have believed the divorce was a private choice, it's difficult to deny the reality. Thought it was a wonderful fit with Jackman's increasing urge to disassociate himself from certain public preconceptions.
Hugh Jackman has been plagued with rumors of homosexuality throughout his entire career. It has been speculated for a host of reasons.
The practice of managing celebrity personas using public relations tactics is not a recent development in Hollywood. The timing of Jackman's divorce, however, was what made it so intriguing, as the rumors regarding his sexual orientation escalated. Jackman's public relations staff appeared to control the story, meticulously regulating how the story was made public. They were able to divert attention by declaring the divorce away from the gossip and concentrate on Jackman's development as a person and his chances for the future.
He was 28 years old when they got married. She was 41 years old. So many people were saying right off the bat, no. This guy is using her as a beard, which is a term that people use when you're in like one of these cover marriages.
By doing this, they successfully stopped a large portion of the rumors that had followed him for years, all the while preserving his meticulous a reputation as a well-liked Hollywood personality. This move was obviously calculated, especially in light of the delicate topic at hand. Hollywood celebrities and their public relations departments have long used the technique of influencing public opinion, utilized to manage their images. This strategy was perhaps crucial for Jackman to safeguard his career, because the sexuality rumors could harm his carefully constructed public persona.
And like I told you, that accusation, it can be real in a lot of circumstances. It goes on a lot in Hollywood, and we'll get into that in my book club when we read Hollywood Babylon.
Jackman had to uphold an image that matched the standards of Hollywood's elite as an A-list actor, and maintaining that public persona included carefully controlling how the public viewed his private life. The divorce wasn't merely a personal choice. It was also calculated, intended to preserve Jackman's reputation and protect him from additional examination.
really flamboyant character in the Broadway play The Boy from Oz. That was back in 2003. The story is about an openly gay singer-songwriter named Peter Allen.
In addition to working to improve his reputation following the divorce, Jackson's public relations staff was instrumental in influencing the persistent accusations regarding his sexual orientation. Although Jackman had consistently refuted the allegations, his PR team probably realized that it would be advantageous to keep the rumors going just long enough to keeping him in the spotlight without letting things get out of hand.
And what stood out to them in that production was the fact that Hugh Jackman opted to kiss his male co-star throughout this production, even though in the original screenplay, there was no kiss between the male stars.
They were able to sustain the discussion without allowing it to take center stage by preserving a certain amount of ambiguity. His career. This calculated move assisted Jackman in negotiating the perilous public seas of Hollywood. Relationships game, where a one slip-up may spell the end of your career.
Anyways, here's a little snippet of that play.
In addition to manipulating his private life, Jackman's public relations staff put in a lot of effort to portray him as a sympathetic figure in the eyes of the public. The story they told about his divorce showed Jackman as a man who had matured and changed, becoming someone who is now considering his future and job. This change in emphasis was essential in restoring Jackman's reputation as a Hollywood legend who could persevere in the face of adversity he had to deal with. Although the divorce was personal, it was a part of a bigger narrative that helped to cement Jackman's position on the field, demonstrating his capacity to bounce back from hardship and come out stronger than before.
And the rumors just kept happening throughout his career. They became so persistent and consistent that it culminated in an interview on 60 Minutes Australia, where he and his wife at the time, Deborah Furness, responded, and she was quite frustrated about people always asking whether or not her husband was in fact gay.
Now that we're talking about Ryan Reynolds, it's obvious that his control and ego issues have played an important part in the continuous drama surrounding him. Reynolds has long been regarded as one of the nicest men in Hollywood, with a well-maintained public image that presents him as the endearing, humorous, and sympathetic performer. But given the current circumstances surrounding Justin Baldoni and his own marriage, Reynolds' character has a darker side that includes a strong need, as Blake Lively has demonstrated, in order to manipulate and exert control.
Like, it's a lie. It's just the bottom line, so it's just offensive. If he was gay, fine, he would say he's gay. It has gotten so out of whack that they say it's stupid, and it's annoying because it's not true.
That's right, so you as an actor, you can't be able to sing, dance.
Yeah.
Reynolds has been charged with utilizing his significant Hollywood clout to sway the story about not just his own life, but also the lives of people in his immediate vicinity, especially Justin Baldoni. Reynolds blackballed Baldoni by using his influence and industry ties to sabotage Baldoni's career. This conduct goes beyond merely managing his personal reputation. It involves abusing his authority to disparage people in an attempt to keep control. In the competitive world of Hollywood, this type of conduct is typical. However, it reveals a great deal about Reynolds' personal fears and drive for dominance.
It ends with us promotional skit that had nothing to do with promoting the movie, which was about domestic violence, where Ryan directed it and he brought in his mom and Blake was in the background. We learned that.
Reynolds' narcissism lies at the core of this issue, and it has become harder to overlook as more information becomes available. Of his behavior have surfaced. His desire for dominance, his ability to manipulate others, and his readiness to use his a profoundly narcissistic personality is shown by the ability to hurt anyone who disagree with him.
He was displaying sociopathic tendencies early on, allegedly. So I've been kind of slow walking you guys to understand that there could be a source of that anger.
This is a world traveler, not the affable, humorous man that Hollywood fans have grown to know and adore. Via a self-serving prism, employing any methods required to uphold his authority and reputation.
Oh, he's gay. Oh, yeah, see, straight guys don't say that. Straight guys don't say that. And that's, I'm not some, like, conservative, and I'm like, men gotta be men. It's just straight guys don't say that.
Reynolds' public persona, which he spent years developing, is very different from this darker aspect of himself. Picture of a witty, endearing man, someone who is simple to support. However, given the circumstances surrounding his marriage to Blake Lively and as the Justin Baldoni lawsuit develops, it becomes evident that Reynolds is much more complex than first meets the eye. His behavior has revealed a domineering, manipulative, and willful side of him. To safeguard his reputation and ego, and as the story progresses, it's becoming increasingly clear that the person making the jokes might be much more dangerous and complicated than anyone had ever thought. It's only a matter of time till what happens next. Keep an eye out and remember to hit the subscribe button.